Hey, it's Midnight Raven, and today I thought we'd take a look at some strange abandoned places. So if you saw my previous video, we did the Draco Fungus collection by Xavier, and that was really interesting, and it got me diving into a realm of creepy, weird, strange, unusual, kind of like me. And I was looking on Home Junkie, which is a Facebook group that does all things weird, wonderful, strange, unusual, that kind of thing. And on there, I found a list or a collection of photos from abandoned, strange, dark, eerie places. And I thought we'd take a look at them. And you can share in the comments below, would you be brave enough to go to these creepy little places? Now, me, I love a graveyard. Graveyards, cemeteries, morgues, totally up my alley. I've spent many hours just sitting in a morgue. I know it sounds creepy. And I've spent many hours wandering graveyards, cemeteries. I research death and murder for my YouTube channel. So let's take a look. So we go over to Home Junkie, and these pictures are from a YouTuber or a Facebooker called Travel with Ant, and he has a collection of 23 creepy, unusual, strange places. So I thought we would decide whether we would stay in these places, visit them, or just avoid them. So here's the first picture. Let me get it up on screen for you. Here we go. So I'm going to be in the little corner. So here is the first picture. Now, this obviously is just an everyday occurrence, having a normal flooded, I'm guessing like a subway, hence the steps over here. So this is like a if you live where I do in Norwich, there's like an underground like passages that make it easier for you to get to the other side of the road without crossing a main road. This doesn't look too bad. As you can see, it's bright, it's airy, there's plenty of room. Maybe not wading through the water, but obviously it wouldn't necessarily always be filled with water. So I don't think this picture is that bad. Would I stay here? Probably. I mean, if it didn't have water, it's really just a great big hallway. Okay, second picture. This is obviously a water park. Now, the only thing disconcerting about this water park is this kraken octopus creepy thingy. Let me put it full screen so you can appreciate the, I don't know if I can do it, appreciate the creepiness. I don't think I can get it bigger, but it's basically a dark swimming pool, and there's this kraken type thing. I think that would scare me more than anything, and the fact the kraken's got a face is very disconcerting. I don't know about you, staying in a swimming pool overnight might seem a little creepy, but I don't think it's that bad. Okay, moving on to the next picture. So this is a disused, I want to say it's a mini golf. You've got like these little shapes and everything. So it's like a creepy undercover mini golf, I want to say. I don't know. I'm going to assuming this is mini golf. The little like paths, I suppose you want to call them. I don't know. I can't say I've ever been in a mini golf at night, let alone, overnight. I don't think it's that creepy. I mean, it might be a little bit different to stay in a mini golf, but nothing really jumps out at me as being like scary or strange, apart from it maybe being a bit dark, which if you had a torch with you wouldn't be so bad. Okay, next. Now this is creepy. Obviously, a place that is just kind of creepy can look even more creepy just with some dark lights. So most places on their own aren't creepy. It's the aesthetic, it's the color, it's the lighting that turns a place that probably, if you turn these lights on, looked harmless, to a place that looks a bit creepy, a little bit eerie, just because you've got like dark patches, you've got shadows. I don't think I would stay here overnight. I know it looks like a workplace with like the thing, but I'm not into this place at all. So here we have what looks like, I'm going to say it's an abandoned theatre, hence the seats down here, and then you've got the balcony. Now, abandoned theatres always get such a bad name that the performances must have been cursed, the whole Macbeth curse. But I think theatres can be eerie, but eerie in a more interesting way. Like, you know, the amount of people that have sung in there, and you do get, back in the day, you used to get the odd death at a theatre, which gave theatres a bad name. But also then you have the Macbeth thing, like apparently if you say Macbeth on stage 3 times, it's a bad omen for your performance and all this kind of stuff. But I don't know, I don't think a theatre is as creepy as, say, like an asylum or abandoned hospital or abandoned prison, if I'm totally honest. Okay, the next one, again, this is just another abandoned theatre. Basically, kind of like the other one, nothing really looks untoward. It's just a bit dark. Nothing really jumps out at me at this picture to say I really wouldn't go there. It's just an abandoned theatre. Now, this one looks like an abandoned hospital, judging by the tiled walls. So I'm going to say that this is like an abandoned hospital. It's also got what I call the hospital strip lights here. Now, hospitals, again, get a bad name for being creepy, strange, because many people have died in a hospital, and you can understand people assuming that a hospital would then be creepy, that it would have ghosts, maybe some haunting. Excuse my throat. You'd expect maybe ghosts, maybe apparitions, maybe some orbs, some paranormal stuff here. But most of the time, people freak themselves out before they've even arrived at a place. They'll say, we're going to a creepy disused hospital, and they're already freaking themselves out. The place itself isn't freaky. Most of the time, the freakiness and the strange and the weird in the place is you playing tricks with your own mind. Now this has all the badness of a horror film or a serial killer. So you've got everything that a horror film could want. You've got the fact that it's night. You got the fact there's a light mist. You got the fact there's a creepy shack in the middle of nowhere. You got the eerily skeletal trees. You got the fact that there seems to be a path with no way of seeing where it goes. It's also overcast. It also looks like it's a full moon, maybe due to the lighting. This has got all the traits of don't go there because there could be untoward people, would be the caption. I wouldn't stay there if you paid me. This one is probably the most freakiest because being out in the open in a graveyard, yes, it's creepy, but this, you got the eeriness, the dark of night, the kind of mist, the little cabin. None of this ever ends well. None of it. You ever seen a horror film? Now, this, on the other hand, is worse. This is like its nightmare playground. So you've got what looks like an underground tunnel. Now, I'm guessing this is probably access for workmen to get to the sewers, and then it's a harmless sewer tunnel. But what doesn't make it harmless is the fact that looking into it, you can't see very much. Sewers are also very claustrophobic, obviously. And the fact that someone has painted 2 bodies on the wall just doesn't just doesn't make you feel any better. I've never been in a dark tunnel to know. I have been in a mine shaft before, deep underground, and to be fair, that was actually quite beautiful. But this, nah, claustrophobic, dark tunnel, creepy painted people on the wall, no. Now here we have an abandoned or a swimming pool at night. Now there's a film coming out, and I can't remember what it's called, where these two girls get trapped under the cover of a swimming pool. There's a horror film, and I can't remember what it's called. But these two girls are out swimming, and the guy leaves, and he closes the pool, and he brings the cover over the swimming pool, and they get trapped underneath. And the story is them trying to get out from under this swimming pool cover. They try breaking it. They have to be able to breathe under there for long term. One of the girls gets hurt. And it's a whole horror film based under getting trapped under a swimming pool cover. It's an ingenious story, really, because you never think something like that would happen. You know, you go to a swimming pool, you come home, you've had a good time. You never presume that maybe you could get stuck under it. The cover comes over, they get stuck, there's lack of oxygen, the water gets cold, you could die of hypothermia, you could die of suffocation. So it's a really good film. I can't remember what it is. If I can think what the film is, I will link it down below. I can't remember if it's out or coming out because I saw a review on it recently. So here's another well-toward creepy place. The fact that it's submerged underwater makes it look even creepier in my eyes. This part up here looks perfectly fine. The white, it looks fine. But as you go down, you get the water, you get the darkness, you get the creepiness, you get the not being able to see very well, which is always a deterrent for somebody, that you can't see everything around you. So in this one, the top part is fine, the bottom part is no. So here we have a smashed up toilets. This isn't creepy, really. It's more, you know, someone's gone there, had a bit of a clean. What we could do with a clean. This is just normal kids just going into an abandoned place and basically just smashing it up. If they go to an abandoned house, they'll just break windows. It's just typical vandalism, nothing really untoward. This one, creepy basements, creepy cellars. Obviously, America has basements. They have cellars. We don't tend to have cellars in the UK. We have attics. And to be fair, basements have always had that eeriness. You go down the stairs, you can't quite see what's down there. You hear a noise. And your basic instinct is to freak and run back up the stairs. Perfectly sensible. This doesn't look too bad. As always, if you're going to go down into the cellar, make sure you take a torch with you, even if your lights work, just in case they go out, because you really don't want to be caught down there without a light, just in case. You never know. So this is a hospital, and as you can see, there's a guy walking around with a drip. Doesn't look untoward. Hospitals at night do have that eeriness, even if they're not abandoned. You've ever walked around a hospital at night? I think it's the fact that hospitals at night are so quiet. It's that dead eeriness that gets you. You know, if you're in a hospital during the day, you're not terrified of that hospital. But as soon as that hustle and bustle turns into silence, then you're freaked out. So here we have what looks like, I want to say these are probably somewhere in Russia, Poland, the Ukraine, somewhere like this, judging by the flats. Does it look a bit eerie? It does look like these would be ones that are in like a horror movie, you know, like 24 Hours Later or something, you know, like rundown area of town that's having like some weird stuff happening. I wouldn't mind going in there. I think it would be quite interesting. I think it's just, how it looks, due to pollution and everything, that it makes it look a bit more eerier than maybe it is. So here we have another underground passageway. Again, I've done underground passages in Norwich. They have an underground subway passage. Never found anything very creepy under there, apart from maybe a couple of homeless people. People usually sleep in there, but I think they were, they're homeless people. Some are harmless, some are not. So, it's eerie, but for me, it's nothing. Now, this is a disused park. Now, what makes it eerie, I guess, is the fact that everything else was taken apart from this slide. You've got a slide, you've got what looks like a sand pit. It's obviously very disused, very unloved. Is this the only thing I find creepy in a park is when you get the swings and you walk past the swings and it's just moving. That motion of the swing moving, whether it's at night or during the day. If the park is empty and that swing is moving, I know it's just the wind, but it gives it that little bit of eeriness that kind of freaks me out. So here we have a abandoned carousel. Now I love a good carousel. There in Yarmouth, there is a pleasure beach and they have an amazing carousel. Bressingham has a vintage carousel. They're called the Gallopers, and I think they're kind of cool. It's a little eerie with it being in the dark, probably in a basement somewhere, but I don't find Gallopers eerie. No one's died there, hopefully. Most Gallopers are outside or indoors, so not as bad. Okay. So you've got this comical "Don't Be a Baby" on the door with the sad chair. I don't think there's anything untoward here. Some freaky stuff, people trying to scare you, kids play. It could be creepy and weird, but I don't think there's anything untoward in this one. This one, on the other hand, is I'm guessing it's a haunted, disused, not necessarily haunted, but it looks like it should be, like a disused building. So you've got the frayed steps, which I probably wouldn't want to walk on with this banister. It does look a bit dodgy. You got the big ass door, which is always scary in a horror film. You get a big ass door that will either open or not open, and you're like, okay. It's a little bit eerie, it's a little bit creepy, but in my eyes, I don't think there's anything too bad. Here we have the night sky with a tall building. I don't see anything in this. Again, creepy, weird, unusual. It's a cool abandoned place. If it's a hospital or an office building, it's kind of cool, but again, nothing really eerie. Now, this is my kind of thing: a churchyard, a garden, a graveyard, a cemetery, a chapel, a morgue, my kind of thing. I love the eeriness, and I especially love a graveyard or a cemetery in the rain. I think the cemetery in the rain can be beautifully artistic, and the atmosphere. Nothing is better than a cemetery in the rain. If it ever rains where you are, go to your cemetery, go to your graveyard and just walk around it. You'll feel an aura as you walk around it, and it's kind of nice. Here we have just a rocking horse sitting on a table, or it's a little pull-along horse with the stairs. This building looks really grandeur because of the stairs. I wish you could see it a bit better. It is just a half picture. So to me, there's nothing in this picture untoward that would scare me. Now, this is kind of cool. You've got the lake in the middle. You've got the outer buildings. I love a nice place like this. The architecture and everything. Hopefully you can see it clearly. I don't know if it's showing up as well. but it looks like someone's painted it. It's so artistic. It looks like a watercolor painting. Here we have someone's either shanty town or holiday getaway in these little tiny shacks. The only thing eerie really here is the mist. Now, mist can be eerie, untoward. It can make you unnerving because you can't see where you're going or what's around you. Mist and fog can be the one thing that puts you on edge, even more so than dark. Another disused building again, but this building seems to have one light in it. Now, that might freak you out if there's just a building and you get a light. Now, that could be anything. It could be someone's left a light on. It could be a security guard going around. There's many explanations. They don't all have to be creepy and untoward. Now, this is kind of cute. You got a little kitty who looks a bit worse for wear in a like darkened area. I don't think there's anything untoward here. I mean, I like kitties. He's a little frail little thing. And that's it. They are the creepy and unusual pictures from Home Junkie. This is Travel with Anne. What I will do is I will put his link in the description if you want to go see the pictures up clearly or take another look. I found these on the page Home Junkie, which is a Facebook group. If you want to see more of these, let me know. I can do more abandoned places, or I can do more weird stuff. There is quite a lot on Facebook that I can review and share with you. So if you want to see more of these kind of things, let me know down below whether you like them. Give us a big thumbs up as well. Follow me on Instagram for other stuff, or if you want to support the channel, become a member, a super chat, or a big thumbs up. It's free. Or if you want to directly help the channel, you can donate to PayPal. So if you want to see more from me, I load videos every day. Like and subscribe, and I will see you soon for another video. Take care and thanks for watching. Bye, guys.